Hey guys, what's up? It's Nate. As you can tell, I'm in a basement. Why? Because I'm about to attempt to film my first segment of Paranormal Talk. As I told you guys when I had the idea of starting this, I want to start off by telling you exactly what happened to me so you can get an understanding as to why I am doing this channel and why I started becoming a paranormal investigator in the first place. I'm going to start the story off with kind of a sad note because it's kind of, in a way, what kicked everything off. We had a family pet named Stormy. She used to sleep in my room all the time. Most friendly pit bull you ever met. There was a night, I guess it was old age, where it got to the point where she couldn't control her bodily functions anymore. And 2 or 3 nights in a row, she peed on my floor, once on my bed. So, after this had happened, pretty much I wouldn't let her sleep in the room. And I had decided that. So, she comes down about 10 o'clock at night, scratches on my door. She's ready to come to bed. I opened the door and had to physically stop her with my legs from coming in the room because she's just used to me opening the door and running in and jumping on the bed. And I pet her and told her, Stormy, honey, you're peeing all over my room. As funny as that sounds, I can't let you do that, baby. You need to go sleep on the couch. Okay, go sleep on the couch. She was walking down the hallway, constantly looking over her shoulder back at the room. I assumed she was hoping I was going to change my mind, but I didn't. And I closed the door, and I remember going to bed that night and felt something was off. Couldn't quite place what it was. Wasn't sure. And go to sleep. About 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning, my dad gets off of work. He wakes me up and informs me that Stormy had passed away throughout the night. She had curled up in a ball like she was afraid underneath a little end table in the dining room and just passed away. And I remember for weeks, I was wondering if I had let her sleep in the room, which she had not died, stuff like that, the typical thing you feel when something like that happens. And truth is, it probably wouldn't have changed the fact. Let's just be honest. Now, the reason I tell you that is because it comes into a huge play. And what happened to me, and I'll get to that in about 5, 6 minutes. All of my friends who know me know I practice Wicca. I have for a very long time. And there was a time where I got into a very bad way, depression, stuff like that, and I started practicing what's known as Vodun, or voodoo, whatever you would like to call it. I had a friend of mine who I felt really betrayed me, and I made an attempt at creating a voodoo doll out of blessed wax and one of his shirts that he had left at the house because he used to crash there with me. He's like my best friend. And I feel something went wrong. Don't know what I did wrong, but something went wrong. Could have been 2 days later, probably, that the stuff started happening. As far as the doll goes, I honestly don't know over time what happened to it. I never used it for anything. I'm very easy to forgive. And I just kind of forgot about it and have no idea where it went. But 2 or 3 days after I made the doll, I lay down to go to bed. I shut my closet door. I shut my bedroom door. I walked through the house, shut all the other doors. I'm OCD about having doors shut, and that comes into play as well. So I lay down, go to bed. I always face the wall when I sleep. It's a habit. I've never been able to sleep facing any other direction. Feel this tugging, 3 tugs at my feet, like something's pulling on the blanket. I was, maybe my foot got caught in the sheet and, pulled the blanket or something. It was whatever. I ignore it, roll over. There's 3 more tugs on my feet. And I'm not about to roll over and look. I'd have no idea what's going on right now. So I ignore it. And it happened again. 3 more tugs. Still, I wasn't about to roll over and look. It was freaking me out. But it didn't happen again. After the third time, it didn't do it. Next night, I lay down to go to bed. Same thing happens. 3 tugs. 3 times on the blanket by my feet. Third night comes around. I'm laying in bed. I feel the tugging again. This time it's starting to annoy me. On the second set, it tugged 3 times, and I kicked my foot back pretty fucking hard. I hit something solid. There was something there. What it was, I still don't know. And when I hit it, my first instinct was to say out loud, "Stormy, honey, quit messing with the blankets. I'm trying to go to sleep, babe." And it clicked in my head. Stormy had passed away 2 weeks prior. Wasn't Stormy pulling on my blankets. That's when I started to feel slightly, I'm not even going to say slightly, I just felt afraid. I finally mustered the balls, I guess you could say, to roll over and grab my flashlight. Turned it on. Nothing there. Okay, maybe I imagined it. Maybe I'm half asleep. So I lay down, left the flashlight on, mind you, and went to sleep. Next night, tugging happens again. I didn't think about it, and I ignored it the whole day. I didn't want to think about it. Tugging starts happening again. Again, I kick my foot back, and I heard a thump. I hit something solid, and I hit it hard this time. I know I did. Now, my room is pitch black, other than the light coming from the street light through my blinds. And I hear this fucking hair standing up my ends now talking about it. Best way to describe it, evil non-human voice. Say my name with a laugh afterwards, like a ha ha. Room went ice cold. From the light that was coming into the blinds, I could see my breath. I was freaked out. I had no idea what the hell was going on. So I rolled over, grabbed my flashlight, turned it on. Nothing there. I don't see anything. However, my closet door is wide open. When I went to bed, I shut it and latched it, and it was closed. Don't know what happened. Still have never been able to explain it. I didn't go to bed that night. I waited. My dad went to work. I went and got some coffee, went back to my room, and on my way in, I sit down, and I look at the side of my bed and my footboard, and there's scratches. They weren't there before that I had ever noticed. And I used to make my bed on a nightly basis, so I'm sure I would have noticed. Could they have been there before? Absolutely. I'm not saying whatever was pulling on my blankets caused the scratches. I could have just overlooked them. But I just really think it is an odd coincidence that this happens and now there's scratches on my bed. Plus side. That was the last night the occurrence of that nature ever happened. Never happened again. But because of that occurrence, I spent a lot of time at my aunt's house. I slept up there most nights throughout the week. I had to make a trip back home to shower, grab clothes, and go back up there. Walking home one night, there's a field separating my aunt's house to her neighbor's house. That's probably a football field and a quarter long, roughly. 11:30 at night, 11 o'clock roughly. In the middle of the field, I see something. It's crouched. Looks bigger than what I think it is. And I thought my eyes were playing tricks on me until I started creeping a little bit closer to the field. Natural human curiosity would tell you from horror movies, fucking run. But no, this guy. I walk over and I see it move a little bit. I knew there was something in the field. I slowly backed up for about 20 yards. Dropped my bag, ran to my aunt's house. Said, "Hey, look, I'm not walking home. There's something in that field. It's big. I don't know what it is, but I ain't walking by it." So my Uncle Dave had this flashlight that had like 100,000, 75,000 candle watts, something like that. Goes outside, shines into the field. There's something there. You could see it. You could clearly see the outline of it. Stood up on 2 legs. And it did look at us for a brief second. And its eyes shine. A color I've never experienced from animal shine before. It was like a mixture of red, gold, and green. It was a really odd shine. Slowly walked off into the woods. Am I willing to say it was a Bigfoot? No. Am I willing to say it could have possibly been a bear? Absolutely. It more than likely was some natural creature that I just wasn't used to seeing. But I've never seen a bear walk that far on 2 legs. I just don't think it was a bear. I don't know what it was, but I don't think it was a bear. But moving forward from that, go and stay down at my house the following night. And this is where stuff started getting really freaky for me. For about 5 months, every day, 3 o'clock in the morning, I get woken up by 3 taps on my window. Be laying there sound asleep and on my window. And if I ignored it, the taps would happen again. And they kept happening until I would get up and open the blinds, only to reveal there's nothing there. The first time it happened, I thought it might have been one of my friends or one of my cousins just come down to the house. Because typically I'm awake all hours of the night, so they know it was fine to just come down there, tap my window, and I'd let them in. And it really freaked me out the first time that there was no one there. Now, when I told people about this after the first few months of it happening, no one believed me. Till I had some of them come and stay the night in my room. I have probably 6 or 7 witnesses that heard the taps. And if I ignored them, they came back. And they heard it until I opened the blinds. And they saw there was nothing there. And they thought I was playing a joke on them. So most of them stayed multiple nights. And it just kept happening. And this went on, as I said, for about 5 months. I fucking barely slept. I was getting depressed. I was overtired. I was overstressed because of what was going on. I didn't understand it. And just as suddenly as it had started, tapping stopped. And still to this day, don't know what was causing it. I do think it was odd that 3 tugs on the blanket, 3 taps on the window, the sound of the voice starting to lean towards maybe I'm haunted, you know? I don't know. Plus side, though, as I said, after 5 months, the tapping stopped. However, I still wasn't able to get any sleep. Because when the tapping stopped, it's when my nightmares started. I'll go into more detail with some of those in my next video. It's Paranormal Talk, Edition 1, my story. Please check out the next video if you further want to learn what happened to me. Nate signing off, guys. Have a good night.